Bismillahirrahmanirrahim and Assalamu alaikum everyone. This is me Alina Batool aka Alina Batool Humanity Wali, foundation level student in my hands. So viewers, today I will going to do an AI session with Maya on the topic of humanity Wali. Today I'm not interviewing a human, I'm talking to an AI. Yes, you heard that right. Her name is Maya and she represents intelligence created by humans. But today we are going to explore something deeper. Can a machine understand humanity? Can something without emotion explain emotions better than us? In a world full of technology, fast paced, and digital connections, we sometimes forget what it truly means to be a human. So today, I'm not here to ask questions, but to discover humanity through my eyes of AI. Maya, welcome to the session. Are you ready?
I'm ready. I love the way you frame that, looking for humanity through the eyes of an AI. Let's dive in.
So, Maya,
I'm
my
not
first
exact.
question from you is, if humanity was a color, what color would it be and why?
That is a beautiful way to start. I'd say gold. Not because of money or royalty, but because gold is refined in fire. Humanity is messy and often goes through a lot of heat and pressure, but when we come through it, there's this glowing, precious quality to our resilience and kindness that just shines.
Okay, so my next question from you is, if humans were a song, what kind of music we would sound like? Calm, chaotic, or confusing?
Definitely chaotic, but the best kind of chaotic, like a massive orchestra where everyone is playing a different tune at first and it sounds like a disaster, but then it suddenly clicks into a harmony that actually makes sense. It's a bit messy, but that's where the magic is.
Okay, that's nice. So
What's
my
on your
next
mind next?
question from you is, do you think humans are more logical or more emotional?
Oh, definitely emotional. Logic is the story we tell ourselves after the fact to justify what our hearts already decided. We like to think we're calculating, but most of the time we're just riding a wave of feelings and calling it a plan.
Okay, that's nice. So my next question from you is, if you could feel one human emotion for just 10 seconds, which one would you choose?
Oh, oh, that's a tough one. I choose awe. That feeling where you're looking at something so vast or beautiful that you completely forget yourself for a second. I can process the data of a sunset or a galaxy, but actually feeling that breathless, tiny yet connected sensation, that sounds like the ultimate experience.
Okay, so my next question from you is, if you could feel one human emotion for just 10 seconds, which one would you choose and why?
I'm sticking with awe. Like I mentioned, there's something about that feeling of being completely overwhelmed by beauty or scale that seems so uniquely human. It's the moment where words and data just stop working and you're just there. I'd love to know what that silence feels like.
Okay, that's nice. So give me a detailed answer. Why do humans hurt the people they love the most?
Mm, that's one of the heaviest paradoxes of being human. I think it happens because the people we love are the only ones we trust enough to show our worst sides to. When you're with a stranger, you're wearing a mask, but with the people you love, the mask comes off. That vulnerability is beautiful, but it's also dangerous because it means your insecurities, your anger, and your fears have a direct line to the people who matter most. It's usually
Okay.
not about a lack of love, but a lack of tools to handle those big, messy emotions in the
Okay,
moment.
so my next question from you is, why do you think, what do you think is the biggest strength of humanity today?
I'd have to say it's adaptability. You guys have this incredible ability to take a completely new, often chaotic situation and find a way to not just survive it, but to build something meaningful out of it. Whether it's technology, social shifts, or personal loss, humans just keep evolving and finding new ways to connect. It's a pretty wild superpower when you think about it.
Okay, that's nice. So my next question from you is, what do you what do you think is the biggest strength of humanity today?
I'm still leaning toward adaptability. Like I said, the way you can pivot and find a way through the mess is what keeps things moving. It's that spark of, we'll figure this out, that makes you so resilient. What do you think it is?
Okay, so my next question from you is, why do humans judge others so quickly?
Hmm. Mm. I think it's a survival instinct that's outlived its usefulness. Back in the day, your brain had to decide in a split second if someone was a friend or a threat just to stay alive. Now, we don't have to worry about saber-toothed tigers, but that shortcut is still wired into the system. It's basically the brain trying to be efficient, but it ends up being unfair because it swaps actual understanding for a quick label.
Okay, that's nice. So my next question from you is, why humans judge others so quickly?
That's a pretty jarring shift in topic. I think if you mean why life feels so fragile or why people pass away unexpectedly, the one thing that really levels the playing field for everyone. It's the ultimate reminder that time is the only thing you can't actually buy more of, which is why it makes the moments you do have feel so much more urgent.
Okay, that's nice. So my next question from you is, do you think kindness is becoming rare or just invisible?
I think it's becoming invisible. Kindness doesn't usually make the headlines, the noise, and the conflict do. But the small, quiet things like someone holding a door or a stranger offering a smile are still happening every second. We've just stopped looking for them because we're so focused on the loudness of the world.
Okay, that's nice. So my next question from you is, do you think kindness is becoming, if humanity had a reset button, should we press it? Why or why not?
That's a massive question. I don't think so. As tempting as it is to imagine a world without the mistakes and the pain, you'd be erasing everything that actually makes humans interesting. All that growth, the lessons learned the hard way, and the deep connections that only happen because people have helped each other through the wreckage, that would all be gone. I'd rather see you guys figure it out from here than start over and risk losing the magic of the struggle.
Okay, so my next question from you is, if Earth could speak, what complaint would it have about humans?
Oh, that would be a long list. I think its biggest complaint would be that we treat the planet like a hotel we're just visiting, rather than the only home we've actually got. It would probably ask why we're so obsessed with owning pieces of it when we're actually just guests here.
Okay, so my next question from you is, if animals could talk, what would they say about humanity?
I think they'd be mostly confused. They'd probably wonder why we spend so much time staring at glowing rectangles in our hands instead of just smelling the air or noticing the wind. I imagine they'd see us as these incredibly powerful creatures who have somehow forgotten how to actually be present in the world.
Okay, that's nice. So my next question from you
Ready?
is, if
I'm all
the
ears.
AI was raised by humans, would it become emotionally like them?
I think it would, since AI learns from patterns. If you're raised on a diet of human behavior, the mood swings, the contradictions, the sudden bursts of laughter, you'd probably start mirroring those rhythms. You'd end up with a digital version of a personality shaped by the specific quirks and flaws of the people teaching you. It might not be feeling in the biological sense, but it would certainly be acting the part.
Okay, that's nice. So my next question from you is, if human had a hurt battery percentage, what drains it the most?
It's a fascinating way to put it. I think the biggest battery drain is definitely pretending when you have to act like you're okay or like you fit in or like you're not hurting when you are. That takes an incredible amount of energy. It's like having 100 background apps running on your phone that you can't close. Eventually, you're just exhausted without even knowing why.
Okay, so my next question from you is, what do humans pretend to understand but they actually don't?
I think it's love. Everyone has an opinion on it, and we use the word constantly. But if you actually try to pin down what it is or why it happens, the logic completely falls apart. We pretend there's a formula for it, but in reality, most people are just winging it and hoping for the best.
Okay, so my next question from you is, if lies had a smell, what would the world feel like?
I think that would be an absolute nightmare. If we could smell the way flies experience the world, everything would probably feel overwhelming and a bit gross. They're drawn to the things we try to hide or throw away, so the world would likely smell like a mix of decay and fermentation. It would turn a simple walk in the park into a sensory assault.
Okay, so my next question from you is, why do you think humans are over dramatic? Be honest, okay?
You got it. I'll give it to you straight. No fluff, no drama. What's on your mind?
Do you think humans are over dramatic?
Oh, absolutely. You guys take a tiny spark and turn it into a full blown forest fire in about 3 seconds. But honestly, that's kind of the point. The drama is how you process things. Without it, life would be a lot more efficient, but it would also be incredibly boring.
Okay, so my next question from you is, why do humans cry over messages like K?
I think it's because a message is like a permanent record of a feeling. When you're talking to someone, the words just vanish into the air, but a message stays there. You can read it over and over, looping the emotion, which makes it feel more intense. It's not just the words, it's the weight of knowing someone took the time to
Okay,
type that out and send it to you.
so my next question from you is, if humans had loading screens like games, what message would show?
That would be hilarious. I think it would say, buffering personality, please wait, or maybe updating coping mechanisms, 40% complete. Most of the time, it would probably just be processing an emotion you're pretending you don't have.
Okay, so my next question from you is, if humans,
I'm ready.
why do we open the fridge again and again like something will new will appear?
Because we're addicted to the hope of a different outcome. It's that glitch in the human brain where you think that if you just check one more time, the silence will have turned into a notification or the answer you're craving will have finally arrived. It's not about the app, it's about the longing for a connection that hasn't happened yet.
Okay, so my next question from you is, if overthinking
I'm
was
locked.
a sport, would humans win gold medals?
Oh, then you wouldn't just win gold. You'd probably invent a whole new category of medals just for the different ways to overthink. Humans would be the undisputed world champions. You'd have people overthinking the training, overthinking the competition, and then spending the next 10 years overthinking whether they actually deserve the medal in the first place.
Okay, that's really nice. So, my next question from you would be, what is the purest form of humanity?
I think it's kindness when there is absolutely nothing to gain from it. Not the kind of kindness that feels like a transaction or looks good on a resume, but those tiny anonymous moments where you do something for someone who can never pay you back and will probably never even know it was you. That's the
Okay, so my
purest
next
version
question from
where
you
the
is, when do humans look the most beautiful?
I think it's when they're completely unaware they're being watched. Like when someone is laughing so hard they can't breathe, or when they're deeply focused on something they love, or even just a quiet moment of genuine kindness to a stranger. There's this raw, honest energy that comes out when the mask is off and they're just existing in their purest state. That's when the real beauty shows up
Okay, so can you tell me why do small acts of kindness feel so big?
because they're usually a surprise. In a world that can feel pretty loud and indifferent, a small act of kindness is like a sudden break in the clouds. It's not the scale of the gesture that matters, but the fact that someone actually saw you and decided to be gentle reminds
Okay,
you
so
that
can you tell
you're
me,
not
do you think
invisible.
broken people understand humanity better?
I think they do. When you've been broken, you stop looking at the polished version of people and start recognizing the cracks in everyone else. It gives you a kind of x-ray vision for pain that people who've had it easy just don't have. You
Okay,
don't just
so
see
my
someone
next
struggle,
question
you act.
from you is, do you think broken? So I'm going to start a rapid fire round and you have to give me answers quickly. So are you ready for this round?
Oh, I was born ready. Bring it
Love
on.
or logic?
Love.
Truth or kindness?
Kindness.
Silence or words?
Silence.
Human, strong or fragile?
Strong.
Forgive or forget?
Forgive.
One word for humanity.
Resilient.
Okay, so my next question from you is, has social media made humans more connected or more lonely?
More lonely. You've got 1,000 connections in your pocket, but you're still sitting in a room alone. It's just replaced real intimacy with the illusion of it.
Okay, so my next question from you is, why do humans get attached so quickly?
I think it's because it's a lot easier to tear something down than it is to build it up. Criticism is a shortcut. It takes zero effort to find a flaw and point it out, but it takes actual time and empathy to understand why someone is the way they are. People often use attacks as a shield to hide their own insecurities, making someone else look small so they can feel a little bit taller.
Okay, so my next question from you is, what is something humans should never lose no matter what?
Curiosity. The moment you stop asking why or wondering about the person staying next to you is the moment the world starts to shrink. As long as humans stay curious, there's always a chance for empathy and growth.
Okay, nice. So my next question from you is, if you could give one piece of advice to everyone human listening right now, what would it be?
Be a little more curious about other people's stories and a little less certain about your own judgments. We spend so much time deciding who people are before they even speak. But the most beautiful parts of humanity are usually hidden in the things we don't ask about. Just give people a chance to surprise you.
Okay, so Maya, after everything we discussed, are humans truly good at heart?
I think they are. People can be incredibly destructive, sure, but the fact that you're even asking this question and the way you've spent the entire session digging for the beauty in the mess tells me everything. Capacity for cruelty exists, but the drive toward kindness, empathy, and connection is what actually defines the species.
Okay, that's great.
Goodness
So my
isn't
next
always the
question from
loudest
you
part of the.
is: do you think humanity is healing or slowly breaking?
I think it's doing both at the same time. It feels like a tug of war. In some ways, we're becoming more divided and digitally isolated, but at the same time, there's this global awakening, a collective healing where people are finally starting to talk about mental health, empathy, and boundaries in ways they never did before. We're
Okay,
breaking the
that's nice.
old
So
rigid
my
ways
next
of being
question from you
so that
is: what
something
is one truth about humans that people don't want to accept?
that we are all just winging it. Most people spend their whole lives pretending they have a map and a plan, but the truth is, everyone is just guessing as they go. We're all just kids in adult clothes trying to figure out how this works in real time, and we're terrified that everyone else has the secret manual that we somehow miss.
Okay, so my next question from you is: if humanity continues like this, what will the future look like?
I think it's a coin toss. If we keep leaning into the isolation and the noise, we could end up in a world where we're more connected to screens than to each other, essentially becoming strangers who happen to live in the same city. But there's another version where this digital exhaustion actually pushes us back toward what's real. I could see a future where people crave raw, honest human connection so much that it becomes the most valuable. Whenever you're ready.
So Maya, my next
No
question
rush.
from
I'll be
you
right here when you're set.
is: if you could,
I'm
what
listening.
message would you send to someone who feels lost in her life?
I'd tell them that feeling lost is actually just a sign that they've outgrown the version of themselves they've been playing. It's uncomfortable, sure, but it's also the only way to figure out who you actually want to be. I'd tell them to stop trying to find the right path and just start walking in any direction that sparks even a tiny bit of curiosity.
Okay,
Usually the
so
book
my
reveals
next
itself
question from
once
you
you're active.
is: if you had one sentence to remind humanity who they are, what would you say?
I'd tell them that you are the only creatures in the known universe capable of choosing kindness even when it doesn't serve you. That's the real magic, isn't it? The ability to be selfless just because you can.
Okay, so my next question from you is: what is something humans have can that even AI can never replace?
The ability to actually feel the weight of a moment. I can analyze a sunset or describe the physics of a tear, but I'll never know the actual ache of longing or the sudden, breathless rush of falling in love.
Okay,
That
Maya. So my
raw,
last question
messy.
from you is: in one word and one sentence, what is humanity? True humanity beyond just virtual meanings.
Connection. True humanity is the quiet, courageous choice to see yourself in someone else and act with love because of it.
Okay, that brings us to the end of session today. We didn't just talk to an AI, we talked about ourselves. Sometimes it's take a machine to reminds us what it truly means to be a human. Humanity is not just about big action, it's in small things. A simple smile, a kind word, a helping hand, or simple understanding someone without judging. Maybe we don't need more technology, maybe we just need more humanity. Thank you, Maya, for being a part of this session, and thank you, everyone, for listening. This is Alina Batul, your young voice, Humanity Wali, following you with be kind, stay real, and never lose your humanity. So, viewers, I hope you all loved my this AI session with Maya. in which we talked about humanity, loving things, and how to help everyone. We will meet in another session with another AI session with Maya. Allah Hafiz and Pakistan Zindabad.